E.N.D here. Strixhaven introduced a new evergreen keyword, word. Evergreen means that going forward, word will feature in more sets, similar to haste as an example. What is word? Word is a triggered ability, and whenever a permanent with word becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, counter it unless that player pays an additional cost specified on the permanent. In simple words, it's like a shield, which requires an additional mana value to target that permanent. How word is played. Let's say that we're going to have this particular creature, water 4, airlist 3 and 1 blue, flying and has word 2. Let's say this card, this permanent is in play, and we have our opponent. Let's put a couple of lands on our opponent's side. Let's say these are the lands controlled by our opponent. Let's put them here. Let's put this representing this deck. So my opponent is going to play a shock. He's going to play a shock on my water 4 airlist. It's a 3/1, therefore the shock will destroy my creature. So my opponent will cast shock, pay 1 mountain, shock goes on this deck, there can be a response, there can be a counter, nothing happens, shock resolves and targets the airlist. Because I have ward 2, because water 4 airlist has ward 2, this means that I will counter the shock, I will counter the spell, unless my opponent pays another 2. Therefore my opponent to shock my airlist needs to pay another 2 additional mana. Any spell or ability controlled by opponent can be affected by ward. This includes aura spells, sorceries, instant, triggered abilities, and anything that targets my permanent. For example, let's say we're going to cast Dead Weight. If we're going to cast that way go on this deck, it needs 1 swamp. I will target the airlist. It's an aura, it's an enchantment. I have ward 2, therefore my opponent has to pay 2 additional mana, or else Dead Weight is countered. As you can see, word, it's quite simple. Something else, let's remove that weight. If you target your creature with ward, let's say I'm going to target my creature with this solid footing, it's an aura. If I target my creature with ward, ward is not affected because only spells and abilities controlled by my opponent. I hope you liked this video. I hope you learned something regarding this new evergreen keyword, word. Here's a subscription button. Subscribe for my channel for more and more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.